Hello Nuggets! Welcome back to another video. Who knew that I'm somewhat serious about actually maintaining this YouTube channel, but here we are. So today we're just going to have a really simple video where I'm going to draw something cool on screen and I'm going to talk to you what it is. Oh yeah, so I ate this like Hong biscuit while drawing. But anyway, so today's video will be simple. I'm just going to sit here and talk to you about what this drawing is, what it's about, and what are my goals for it. So straight to the topic. I'm working on the calendar. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I'm working on a calendar for 2026. I think I've posted quite a bit of it on my Instagram. Jacqueline, who is cool on Instagram. You can follow that if you want. But just to keep you up to speed, I made a calendar last year. And I want to make a calendar for next year. So this is what the spread is for. So right now you're seeing the page that I've done up for January, which features this like big man reclining back against a big cliff. And right now I'm drawing the environment that's necessary to make the cliff look not so barren. The idea for it is to have like a tropical rainforest sort of scene, and in a couple minutes you may or may not see me hold my phone with Pinterest on it so that I can reference it while drawing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for this whole video. Honestly, like just looking back at this particular piece, like I'm pretty proud of it. I think the anatomy looks quite nice, especially from the side. I really liked the way I drew his back. I think it's quite sexy, and I also like his face. I think it's quite pretty. Right now, I'm drawing the little like animals that are supposed to be part of this larger like rainforest scene. I know you can't really tell right now, but when I eventually color this in, I'm going to make these little critters like tigers or something like that. Tigers or leopards. So I want them to be like big cats. Which look very minuscule in this scene. In case you can't tell, like all of these mermaids from my calendar project are like huge mermen. So here's the thing with me lately. I really like drawing big, hot people amidst like a tiny looking landscape. I think it comes from my love of Whitebeard from One Piece, but I just really think it's super sexy and cool to have like a big giant set against like a normal person landscape where my subject somehow just dwarfs like things that we consider large, like a big tree or a big cliff, and then it's like big hot person like a god or like a goddess just overlooking us plebeians. Like, oh my gosh, like I just really love the idea of a big giant person. For some reason I think that's really fucking sexy, and working on this calendar essentially proved that I have this like fetish of sorts. So so this project has been really fun for me to do, even if I've been procrastinating on it severely ever since starting my master's program. Yes, so that's what I'm doing. I don't know if you'll see it in this video, but like something really cute that I've done with this page is to add like a little like hornbill on the top of his nose. So that's like extra lore here. Where I live in Singapore, right, sometimes I'd see like huge hornbills just flying around, and I really like it. I really think it's so fucking cool to see these like big birds of paradise just running free in this like in my very typical bland urban landscape, and it's sort of like enchanting. So I've decided to like include that extra tidbit of IRL lore in this illustration, so that'll be fun to do. Also, I don't know, I just really think this man's face is so sexy. Right now you're seeing another tiger. What was I supposed to say? Okay, yes, I want to talk about the progress that I'm making on this calendar project. Let me pull up my iPad. If I remember correctly, I think like 7 out of 12 spreads are done. And by done I mean like they have like the hands in there, they have the faces, they have the background in. So okay, my calendar files are pulled up, so I have the pages ready for January, February, April, March. I think March is ready. Yeah, March is ready, so I have like the spreads for January, February, March, April, September, yeah, okay, I have like 5, okay, that are fully finished. And as for the ones that are somewhat finished, and by somewhat finished I mean like they're missing like a hand or like extra details that I want to do, the ones that are at that stage are, I think, 3 of them. We have May, August, July, and June. So that's 4. The rest are nowhere near done, and that includes my birth month of October, December, and November. November is the newest addition to this calendar, so it's the least done. I'm thinking of maybe like showing you guys like the full like Procreate time-lapse video for November, because I think that could be quite fun. I drew Law for November, which is kind of strange because he's an October baby. But anyway, that I'll explain the lore of that when we get to that part in this calendar thingy. But yeah, so there is progress made, though most of the progress has been done when like pre-masters. So now that masters has kicked into full gear, I don't really have much motivation to really work on it, but it will show up soon. I am working on it, and I can't. And if you're like excited by this horrible pitch, then I hope you're interested in seeing me like work on it. I think the piece that I am most interested in seeing how it looks when finished is probably the drawing that I came up with for July. That's because like I'm not going to show you how he looks like now because that's spoilers, but just know that just looking at him now on my Procreate file, he reminds me a lot of Toji from JJK. It's something about his cocky attitude, so that's exciting. I'm also really excited to show you the one I did for September, because I really liked the typeface I did for the month thing. I really like the font that I've chosen to trace. I think it looks quite classy. I drew September while reading Beowulf as part of my TA duties, so I think like the font choice as well as the character design really reflected that era of like old English warrior aesthetic poetry, that kind of thing, that kind of aesthetic. So I think it'll look really cool. Okay, yeah, I'm just really excited, like just talking about it and looking at all my files, because I think this set of 12 illustrations really emphasize like the best of my capabilities in terms of like drawing. It represents the best of my artistic abilities circa 2025. I just think it's really beautiful, and I hope that like when I eventually do start printing it, people like it. Okay. What else am I working on? So I'm not just working on the calendars, I'm also doing like postcards and stuff. So I'm making like some postcards for my students. I have like, I think one. I'm working on one right now. Yeah, I'm working on some postcards now. One of those postcards include the line art that I did last video. So that one is gonna get color, so that'll be fun. It's gonna be like very green with like some light glowing in the background, so that should be quite pretty to look at. I'm also working on a new bookmark, and it includes like a cloud goddess with like a sunsetty color scheme. So it's like golden clouds with splashes of like dark brown and like a very warm tinted shade of blue for the sky behind her. It's quite aesthetically pleasing. I'm nowhere near done with it yet, but I think the color palette looks quite lovely, and I think you might really like it. I'm starting to draw women more nowadays, and I think it's for the best because I love drawing titty. Yeah, I want to do more than just, you know, drawing men. I love drawing men, and obviously that will be my bread and butter, but I want to try drawing more women, and more specifically like more women of color. I think that will be a lot of fun to add to my portfolio. In terms of stuff that like I actually want to work on like in the future, like I do have some ideas for illustrations I want to do, so I'm gonna try my best to remember them off the top of my head. One illustration that I want to do involves a sort of king. So I went out with, I caught up with like a co-worker from one of my internship places, and she brought me like a whole bunch of like really beautiful, really colorful flowers. And if I have footage of that, I'll put it on screen now. And it's just so beautiful. Okay, they have like pops of pink, indigo, orange, yellow, white. Oh, it's just a beautiful feast of colors, and I want to draw something based off that. So I want to draw like, you know, maybe like a king, I suppose, and he's surrounded by all of these beautiful flowers. I don't know what kind of background I want to do for him yet. I just know I want him to have lots of flowers, and I want him, you know, to be horny and stuff. So that's something I want to do. I don't have the full story of it ironed out in my head just yet, but just know that's something I want to do. And another piece that I want to do, and it relates back to my cloud goddess thing that I mentioned earlier. I started getting really into Golden by �.𖥧 again. So that I was like, I really liked his voice, and hearing his voice reminded me of like red, yellow, and blue clouds. And I was like, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to do this. Okay. I think I drew an illustration based on that concept some years ago, but I feel like, you know, let's do it again but better. So that's also, you know, in the works in my head. Yeah, so I have like stuff that I want to do. This video made absolutely no sense beyond just me talking about what I want to do for my art. I promise maybe future videos would be more interesting and coherent, but anyway, thanks so much for listening to me ramble about my art projects and my ideas. I hope you found that interesting, and yeah, please take care of yourself, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.